Man, this Bitcoin flag is it's just insane. This thing looks so good. I hope it starts moving soon. Catches up to Dogecoin and Ethereum. Yeah, ETSG, it's super thin. Great for those of you who have small accounts. Took out the opening range loads. You know, this thing could go to $50 today. It's a pink sheet too. These are known for their unwinds. ROKO is absolutely not an EP. Absolutely not. It's a broken stock. EP needs to be something that breaks out to new highs. Not something that gaps up into resistance. You know, all of these moving averages are declining. Absolutely not an EP. I'm gonna show you where it had an EP. This is a good looking EP, right? This is a good looking EP. Same thing with all of these, like net, gapping up into resistance. Square, BNTX. I was thinking about shorting it. Day 2, bounce, setup. I like the semiconductors, man. They're holding up. They're holding up so well. Big flag on the weekly. Probably needs a bit more sideways though, so 20-day can come down a bit. RVLV is going higher, breaking out of this flag too. It's been surfing the 50 days. Such a beautiful strength in this thing. Yes, when I try triple ETFs, I always look at the unlevered instrument first. That's what guides me. Like GBTC, you know, I'm not trading this thing blindly. I'm looking at Bitcoin first. Same thing with AGQ. I'm looking at what does silver look like. Or if I trade TNA, I'm like, okay, what does Russell look like? Enva, 2 stars maybe. All right, I covered my last PRPO too. That was also a pretty decent one. And that's it. I anticipated this first red 5-minute candle. I shorted in a low 8, 790. So my average was maybe about 8. Risk was about $1, maybe a bit more. And I made almost $4 on it. On my last shares. Damn, this TNA. Or Russell, I mean, just the way it's building higher lows and getting tighter. I mean, this is getting exciting. If it closes strong, I may take a starter, like a 3rd size on TNA. 3rd size. And I will be adding as the base forms. And GBTC too. I'm thinking maybe Bitcoin breaks out over the weekend or something. I'll buy like a 3rd size of this thing too, if it closes strong. Yeah, HIMX looks good. Not for today, but if it can tighten up a little bit. Yeah, it looks good on the weekly. Yeah, it looks good. It needs to tighten up a bit on the daily. This thing has insane growth, big estimates for next year. Yeah, and this is Semiconductor. Yeah, when the semiconductors break out, this thing could easily double. So I started back in on the semiconductor exposure. Like a month ago, I had a lot of semiconductor exposure. I had like half of my account in AMAT, LRCX, and Soxel. And TSM I also had for a while. And now the bases look even better. And look at all these so-called, you know, these earnings gappers that gapped into these resistance areas. They're all fading now. SQM looks so good on the weekly. Oh man, it looks so good. This one, oh man, I can't believe I let this one get away from me. This Veil steel related stock. Where can you get a list of all stocks reporting for a given day? Just Google earnings calendar. I use one of these cheat services. You can use like, there's like earnings whispers, I think. This is a pretty good site. I haven't used this one in a while though. You can see the consensus, how much they beat or miss. Calendar, you can even see, you know, this is like, let's see, Friday the 7th. Before the open, 96 names, after it closed 4 names. And you can just scroll through. And you can see the estimates, all of these. Yeah, estimates, and you can see the actual. And obviously you want the ones that have surprises. And also big growth. You want to see big numbers. MU is another one that looks amazing on the weekly. A little bit choppy on the daily. Needs a bit more time. But on the weekly, I mean, it needs more time. But this thing, like so many other semis, AMAT, LRCX, it just looks so good. Need a little bit more time. This SVXY has a nice flag break. This is one of the, it's in some kind of volatility instrument that goes up when the volatility is low. And obviously it goes down when the volatility is high. Not really sure how good technical analysis is on something like this, but it is kind of breaking higher. I also wish these shippers were stronger, but you know, or not stronger, more liquid. These are all like micro and nano caps. I mean, the breakouts some of these had last, or like a few weeks ago, like EGLE here, DSX I had, yeah, DSX on the 50 here. What more are there? I don't even remember. Yeah, SPLK, yeah, this one too, 5-star. They had 5-star setups like a month ago or 3 weeks ago. And there's also SP's one too, yeah. Well, this was a trickier one. I'm actually gonna try something new. One of my moderators, Stock Daddy, uses this. He has an alert a little bit before a stop. So I'm gonna try to get away from hard stops. I have too much, way too much slippage most of the time. I'm gonna make it red, just like he uses the color red, so I'm gonna use the color red also. I'm just shamelessly copying. That's how you become successful in the stock market. You don't have to invent anything. You can just shamelessly copy. Copy the things that work. And that makes sense. Like for me right now, I see two big opportunities, two $10 million plus opportunities, and that would be GBTC, which is obviously Bitcoin. And once it breaks higher, this flag, as you know, it could very easily go up 50, 100%. And TNA. And this thing too, it could, why can't it go up like 50% or something if it breaks? And the semiconductors too, like this thing, Soxol. SMH bounced nicely. It undercut, reclaimed the rising 100. Tested it again, reclaimed, and now it's kind of reclaiming the 50-day. I mean, it's showing strength. Doesn't want to go down. And this, well, I don't know. Wait, what's my size on it? It's not true. Yeah, it could be a $10 million opportunity in this one too, especially if I add. If it sets up again so I can add. So 3 potential big opportunities I see right now. Yeah, commodities are tricky. Commodity, they're better to buy when they just, you know, test the rising moving average, like the 50 or 100, or same goes for commodity related stocks. Like growth stocks are usually better to buy off breakouts, especially like the leading ones, but not necessarily. Commodities, they can be, they don't work as well off breakouts usually. From what I like, for example, if you look at the 2003 to 2007 bull market, or actually 2009 to 2011 too, a lot of commodities had big moves, especially 2003 to 2007. Like commodities were the leading sectors, and they were generally kind of tricky. Many of the leading names, you had to kind of buy them when they bounced off a rising moving average or something. That's why I passed on FCX, because I wasn't, you know, I wasn't trusting this breakout. Now it's obviously working, but you know, something like, and this breakout obviously worked, but you know, these types of setups where it undercuts a key moving average and then reclaims, these types of setups work really well for commodity names. Do I have a max risk per industry / sector? Not really. Like I had 50% of my funds in the semiconductors like a month ago. But it's not like I bought them at the same time. I bought them over a period of like a week or 2 weeks. This EDC is triple emerging market ETF. This thing looks great on the weekly. I'm thinking with the commodities starting to run, maybe emerging markets start running too. Just in 2003 to 2007, emerging markets did much better than the US. And in this bull market, the past 10 years, US has been like a superstar, and emerging markets have been lagging. But man, it's thin. EM would be the unlevered one. Like you can see, emerging markets, this ETF has been pretty much been going sideways for 15 years, 16 years. And in 2003 to 2007, it had a big run. Good risk reward on this EDC. This EM looks amazing. Just resolving this, it's just surfing the 100th day, and now it's kind of breaking out of this range. And the weekly looks really good. It serves the 20 weekly. Look how it's building higher lows here, and there's a range here. Well, Elon is entertaining. He is. He's one of the most interesting people in the world. There's no doubt about that. He does a lot of smart things, but I kind of, he also does a lot of stupid things and says a lot of dumb things, but that's the way it is. What is criteria FNKO is missing? This is a 5-star setup. It looks amazing. It's breaking out on earnings. Earnings breakout. It wasn't an EP since it didn't gap up, but this is a 5-star setup. Earnings breakouts are the most powerful breakouts. Now, obviously, you had to buy it opening range highs. If you buy it here, you're a moron. But, either the 1-minute opening range highs, but if you missed that, there was another opportunity on the 5-minute opening range highs, 23 or so. 24, that's a chase. It's like when Celsius broke out, right? Well, this was more of a traditional EP, but this one too. Or when, what was the other one? I don't remember that. Like earnings breakouts can be very powerful when they break out of these flags. BRC has 11% upside, 1100% upside. I think it has 1500% upside. You're a loser. 1100%. Are you bearish or something? What's wrong with you? At least 1500%. Yeah, like something like this. This is not an EP. Okay, EP needs to be something that breaks at least a few, multi-month range. This thing is back where it was 3 days ago, right? Gapping up into this declining moving average. This is a loser's EP. A real EP breaks a multi-month range. Something like this. Something like this. Even something like this wasn't ideal, but obviously in hindsight it made a big move. But it didn't, it took out the range. Something like this one. I think I even traded this CP here. This was really good. That's a good EP, not something like this. Okay, this is the closest I could find. This one ends in 2018, but this is like I wish it could go back a bit longer, but as you can see, 2003, 2007, emerging market just outperformed S&P 500 by a wide margin. And since like 2010, S&P 500 has just been straight up. And I remember this ends in 2018, it's been up even more since, while emerging markets have been going sideways. But I've seen better charts that go like back to the 80s or something. Can't find it right now. Like these things go in 5-10 year cycles. In the past 10 years, the US has just outperformed, and maybe emerging markets will outperform from now on.